Well, I can't wait any longer. I'm not waiting.
Just before you talk about Haller, I just want to talk about the FA Cup. No, I'm joking. Go on, get into it, Sam. Go on.
Now, obviously, big news today is Sebastien Haller has up sticks and left. He's gone to pastures new. He's gone to Ajax. Look, I'm not going to sit here.
I thought that was a French team.
I'm not going to sit here and sort of poke fun at everybody's face and all that. At the end of the day, opinions are opinions. I've never seen a player split opinion so much as Sebastien Haller. Like, I mean, there are people that slate him to the hill, and there are people that defend him to the hill. You know what I mean? I've never seen an absolute division in the fan base over one player. But let me tell you this, and I'll say this without. This is my opinion, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. Let me start with saying with the positives with Sebastien Haller. The man's got some talent. That's undoubted. He's got a little bit of talent. You can see by a couple of the goals he'd scored and all of that. But I don't think in a system where we played what we played and a player like, I don't think I remember a worse player pulling on the shirt. And that is, I've seen some absolute fucking dross come through our fucking team. I don't think I've seen, and you know what? I didn't want to say it because I was always willing him to do well, right? But let me put this point across. If he was a £4 million, £5 million striker, it'd be. Let me say that. The only reason, the same with Anderson, the only reason that he got backed by some of the people that he got backed by is because he was our record signing and they was fucking hoping he'd do well. He was lazy, and I wouldn't even say that, right? It's not just he was lazy, but he was lazy for a reason, because at the end of the day, it's come out today that he had this move lined up to Ajax. All them people are saying, no, he don't look unhappy, no, he don't look like this, no, he don't look. It's obvious he was planning a fucking move. No wonder he fucking planted himself in the middle of a fucking football pitch and moved less than a fucking tree for the last fucking 6 months that he's been here, because he was looking to get out the fucking door. Now let me just tell you this now, right? I don't think I've ever seen a worse centre forward, and I've seen some fucking bastard centre forwards in my time. I've never seen anyone that fucking moved less than him. I've never seen anyone less interested in him. All that money a week, and he couldn't even fucking put in a shift. And people keep on saying we didn't play to his strengths. Yeah, I agree we didn't play to his strengths, but to play to his strength, you would have to fucking stop playing to other people's strengths, and we can't afford to do that. We can't afford a 40. Let's not be fucking hasty here. A £45 million centre forward who didn't want to fucking work, who didn't want to move, who didn't want to work for the team, and it's coming out now. All those times when I sat on these streams and saying things like, "It doesn't look like Bowie wants to pass to him," it come out today that he fucking didn't. Because they all got sick of his fucking stupid attitude. Honestly, one of the worst players I've ever seen in a West Ham shirt. I am. Do you know what? I've never been so glad. Well, let's be honest. Let's see the predicament that we're in now. Right? I've never been so glad to see the back of a player. We've just sold a centre forward, and we ain't got a fucking centre forward. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm fucking glad he's gone. Absolute wank of a player who had no interest in moving any man. And when you look at the two comparisons of the two players that have gone today, Haller and Snodgrass, right? Snodgrass is a man that ain't got all the talent in the world. He's got a bit of talent, absolutely, but he gave his all. Every time he played, he gave his all. Look at Haller. Look at the way Haller has left, telling everyone, "Oh, I wasn't happy at West Ham because the system didn't suit me." It's not about Sebastien Haller. It's about West Ham. And at the end of the day, he didn't fit. I do understand his frustrations. I don't blame him in the fact that, like, he was unhappy here, but at the end of the day, it's down to him on all that money and for all of the fucking money we paid him in wages. I think it's ended up. We are lucky that we got back half of the money for him. Like, and anyone that sits there telling me, "Oh, you know, he's a great player and all that," they took half. Golden Sullivan took half of the fucking money for him. They lost £22.5 million to get him out the door.
That means fuck all. That means fuck all. This is Golden Sullivan. They lose money on everyone. That means nothing. They lose money on every single player. I don't think we've ever made a profit.
He was shocking. He was absolutely shocking. And the thing is, yeah, he'd do a backflip every now and then and put one in the back of the net. But I don't want him doing backflips. If he's not going to do, I've never seen a player with a worse touch. He's meant to be one of the people saying he's not a goal scorer, he's a provider. How the fuck can you provide if you can't fucking bring the ball down, track the ball, or pass the ball?
People say he's a provider. People say he's a provider. He only got 1 assist in his career at West Ham.
Absolute terrible player.
The thing is, Nick, I do understand what you're saying, mate. I don't think he's the worst striker I've ever seen at West Ham, to be fair. I paid money to watch Midu and Benny McCarthy play at one point. Look, Hellier, I tweeted it out last night. I'm gutted it never worked out for him at West Ham, but I'm not too fussed that he's left the club, if that makes sense. I'm not, it says a lot about Dutch football that the money that they've paid for Sebastien Haller is the record in Dutch football. So it's not a great league. He's been out there before. He'll do well out there. He's sort of, as I said to my mate earlier when I said to him, I said, certain actors suit certain films. You can't put bad actors in good films and things like that. I mean, Haller just wasn't suited to the Premier League. We could have played to his strengths. He showed glimpses sometimes that, you always, nothing to do with his price tag, but you look at him as his stature, his build, you think, yeah, we've got a good striker there, but it just didn't work out for him. Whether it was the way we played, whether it was the way he played, it's just one of them things. And we've had to get him out the door. It makes me think now, though, that I think you're right in a way, Nicky, that he knew that he was moving to Ajax. So I wouldn't say that. I don't think any football player really goes out on the pitch to not score goals as a striker and to not perform. But when you got in the back of your head that you don't want to get injured because you've got a move coming up, that's a totally different thing. And yeah, I think it was right that he had to go. And the one thing is now, I don't think, well, I hope, because I've put a lot into David Moyes in the last few months, especially, that I hope that he wouldn't have let him go without having one or at least 2 signings ready to come in that door in the next few days or in the next week.
Right, where to start? Where to start with Nicky's? Honestly, I don't believe what I just heard there.
There's nowhere to start.
Well, let's break
it. Hang on, Dan, hang on. Check it out. Round 2.
Mean, honestly, to say one of the worst and one of the worst players, one of the worst touches. You don't remember Enner Valencia at West Ham? Don't remember any Valencia playing?
He was better than Sebastien Haller.
What, he had a better touch than Sebastien Haller?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying to me? He had a better touch than Sebastien Haller. How many times we sat there and we watched the game together when he brought the ball down from fucking must have been 20 odd feet in the air, brought down, touched and turned it. What? Because I don't sit there with a notepad and write down going, that was that touch, that was that touch. Here's the thing how it goes. Look, let me put this qualifier out there. Do I think that we should have kept Sebastien Haller at West Ham and he had a future at this club? No, I don't. I think, right, it's the right move for everyone, but not at the right time. I think we could have got more money for him in the summer. We've sold him now. We've got a thinner squad. I think he would have continued to play more games. He would have got a few more goals. He would have played in the cup, and we could have sold him for similar money in the summer, right? People are talking about, no, he's a shit player.
I disagree, mate, because his value was only going down. He's lost half of his value in a year and a half. A year and a half.
That's what we've paid for him. No, but that's what we've paid for him. We paid that money for him. He went and got that. He went and got them goals at Frankfurt. How would his value have gone down if he went and added more goals to his career in the Premier League? That's what he would have done. He would just added more goals. It maybe even if it was 3, 4, 5. We're talking about 6 months later. Ajax would have still come in and probably paid around a similar amount of money. People say he's a shit player. I'm sorry, you don't get 84 goals and 32 assists in your career in 200 appearances if you're a shit player. You just don't do it. I fully agree.
Quite a lot of them in the Dutch league. And people that saying, oh, he's going to go to Ajax and he's going to do well. Yeah, he's going to score 20 goals a year because he's at Alkmaar every fucking week.
About this fucking Dutch league. We keep shitting on, oh, he's going to Ajax. Listen, we act as if West Ham was in that league. We'd fucking boss that league. No, we wouldn't. There's a lot of teams in that league we wouldn't fucking beat. We couldn't score against Astra fucking Gugu.
Right? Who wouldn't be beating that? You know what? At least Scotland have got fucking 2 teams that are decent.
Listen, we're talking about Ajax. Ajax are a far bigger and better team than West Ham. I'm a West Ham fan. If you like it or not, that's the facts. They're a bigger and better team. They'd spank us.
They're a bigger club than West Ham. They're a bigger club than West Ham. They got to the Champions League semi-final year before last.
Yeah.
Am I right? They got beat by Tottenham in the semi-final. Look at all the players.
But have they ever won the Betway Cup?
No, that's right, mate.
Yeah, there you go. Well, now listen, I can't argue against that. But it's, we sit and talk about this league and this team, right? As if, we'd just go out and just dominate against these teams, as if we're far better than these teams. Like, okay, it may not be as competitive or they're different leagues as the Premier League, but you can't discount it. Look at the fucking Czech league. We went and got Thomas Souček and Soufal from their league. You wouldn't say that's a great league, but they've come and they've fit West Ham and they've adapted. Sometimes it just don't work out. I think if you put Sebastien Haller in a more progressive attacking team, he gets goals.
If you put Haller in Man City's team, it'd be totally different. It'd be scoring goals. I do think that sometimes it is the way you set up and the players you have around you. I agree with that. You look at in German league ain't easy, and he scored goals for fun out there. He's come over to the Premier League and he hasn't adapted. He's not the first player, and he won't be the last player that won't adapt to English football. It's a totally different game over here. It's faster. It's more brutal. Haller, when I looked at him, I thought, he's got the build to be a good striker in the Premier League. And maybe if he did play for a Liverpool or a Man City, he would have scored goals, but he didn't. So
I guarantee you, if he would have been a player,
he got bullied by a dwarf against Chelsea.
Yeah, but you say that dwarf, that's the biggest dwarf I've ever seen because he's 6 foot.
It's small in comparison to the athletes and the centre backs in professional football.
It takes a lot for a striker to come into the Premier League from another country and hit the ground. There's only certain elite strikers that take the form from the clubs they play, whether it's in Germany or in Spain, and they come into the Premier League and hit the ground and continue the way they do. Haller isn't a bad player. You don't sign a player to build your attacking style around, your attacking team around. A player that played a season for Frankfurt in a 2 or a 3 and then ask him to play up top on his own. That's the big problem. This is the thing. Haller's took a lot of stick. All right, maybe he did want to leave because he weren't happy playing up top on his own. Fair enough. But at the end of the day, when you spend money to sign a striker who's got a good, decent record, plays well in a 3, plays well in a 2, and then you're asking him to play up top by himself and run the channels, which ain't his game, you can't criticise. You're sitting there saying he's got a terrible touch. Has anyone actually watched Antonio 2 seasons ago? His touch is awful. He improved it. He worked hard at it. This is the thing. But
this geezer is meant to be like a French Teddy Sheringham, Scott. And he couldn't control the ball. He couldn't control it. How many times did you watch it? Don't be honest with me. I want you to be honest with me, right? Get your fucking get your Haller spectacles off. How many times did you watch him playing football? Someone would roll a ball to him 5 yards away, and he couldn't fucking control it. How many times?
Okay, just gonna. How many times have we all sat here since Antonio's been at this club and slated him for his touch? We was all sitting here 2 seasons ago saying we should sell him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Antonio keeps on going, right? He keeps on going. He tries and tries. And there, he's controlled the ball, look, and starts staring at it like it's going to come back to him, like it's got telekinetic powers. It's going to fucking roll back to him.
But this is the thing, right? It's completely different types of players who play in different systems. Antonio can play that lone striker. You can't expect a player to hold up the ball. We had the same problem with Andy Carroll a few years ago, playing him up front on his own. He's slow, he ain't quick, he holds up the ball, can't pass it to no one because we're sitting far too deep. And that's exactly what we do now. We've done no different to what we did then to what we do now when we had Andy Carroll up top. Plays up top on his own. Me
personally, I think Haller would have been great if we'd have kept Matt Jarvis.
He was a record signing. He didn't get stick.
This is the thing. You can't sit there and say he's the worst striker that's played for the club because
I don't think Nicky really means that. I know Nicky's not a fan of him, but Nicky's seen a lot worse than Sebastien Haller at West Ham.
None of them cost £45 million.
I know.
But that's not his fault, is it? That's not his fault. He never had a £45 million player. The thing is, there's another thing as well. Look at it in context, right? Pellegrini bought him in. Pellegrini wanted to play a possession, attacking, style-based sort of football, right? So he comes in under Pellegrini. 6 months later, Pellegrini's gone. We've got David Moyes in, who's a much more pragmatic and defensive manager. So while he's adapting to the league, the whole style and the whole philosophy changes. And now he's under a manager he doesn't fit. And I'm not criticizing. Someone said, "Why are you criticizing the system?" I'm not. I'm just saying that.
You know what Pellegrini's biggest fault was? Do you know what Pellegrini's one of his biggest faults was? Selling Hernandez. Hernandez.
Yeah. Was that him though? Was that him?
And then Hernandez and Haller would have been perfect.
Exactly.
We see them two play together for a couple of games. We see them at Brighton away. Haller and Hernandez, the way they linked up. That's what Haller was missing.
Mhm.
You know, he's not that sort of striker that can play up top on his own. We know that. And I can understand him getting frustrated because he has a bad game, he gets criticised. He knows that. Strikers want to score goals. That's what they're paid to do, you know. Well, I hate it when a striker's on a goal bonus because ain't that what you sign them for? To fucking score anyway.
This is the thing. I don't understand how you bring in a striker that you think's a top striker and you think's going to get you goals. You don't build a team around him. Like you said, you sell Hernandez, who you would have had the bigger guy, the poacher combination. You know, but it was the same with Hernandez. How many times have we asked Hernandez to play up top on his own?
I remember he was pumping on board for him once.
I'm sitting on the fence. I'm not sitting on no fence. I've said it how it is. You know, I'm not fussed that Haller's left the club. I want him to do well. I want every player that signs for the club to do well. Of course we do. But do you know what? If we sign Josh King tomorrow, I won't see no difference between Josh King and Haller, if I'm honest.